Combining like terms. I can combine like terms to solve equations. It's part of the standard of maintaining equality on both sides of the equal sign. So draw your line down. Somewhere in the middle of your paper, write 4x plus 3. So we're going to look at each part of this. First of all, the x. The x, of course, is known as your variable. A letter that replaces a number. The plus sign would be your operator, like add, subtract, multiply, or divide. In front of a variable, we have something called a coefficient. This is a number that is multiplied by the variable. So in this case, you would have 4x, which would represent x plus x plus x plus x, or 4 times x. 3 represents a constant. It's a number that stands alone. It does not have a variable attached to it. The 4x and the 3 are considered terms. They're separated by an operator. This whole thing is known as an algebraic expression. An expression, again, because it does not have an equal sign. So what we're going to do is look at terms, these things today, that are alike. So like terms. Terms with the same variable to the same exponent can be put together. That makes it a like term. So let's look at these, just some ideas. We're going to look at which ones are alike and which ones are unlike terms. So if you look at 4x minus 10, many people want to think that's unlike because there's a negative in front of this. But actually, that is a like term because the variable x is the same. Next one, 13xy and 5y. Well, those are unlike because the x and the y are different terms. 5x squared and 9x. Well, because this is squared, this is to a different exponent or different power. These are unlike terms. In this one, 9x squared y, 4x squared y. The coefficient 9 and 4 does not matter. The variables are exactly the same, so that would be a like term. In this case, we have 3xy squared and 7x squared y. Because the powers or the exponents are different, it's an unlike term. And lastly, 17ab and a negative 21ab. AB's are the same, so those can go together. Those are like terms. So what we're going to be doing is combining like terms. So we need to find things that are the same. Right here says watch the sign in front of the number. That is super important. So let's look at here. We have 8y, and there's nothing in front of it, so we assume it's positive. Minus 2y, those are like terms, so they can be put together. 8y minus 2y is 6y. And then there's nothing that's going to go with the 5, so it's just plus 5. So we have simplified this expression to 6y plus 5. Let's do the same thing here. In this case, I have 4k, positive 4k, and a negative 2k, or minus 2k. 4k minus 2k is 2k. And then we just bring over the constant, because there's nothing to go with it, plus 17. Let's say this also had a minus 10 on it. Then we would put the plus 17 with the minus 10 to get a plus 7. So this one's a big one now, so let's take a look. I'm going to put my 3a with my minus a, which would be 1a. I'm going to put my positive 5b with my minus 2b, and then 10's by itself. So we end up with 3a minus a 1a would give me 2a. 5b minus 2b would give me plus 3b. And then we have a positive 10, so plus 10. So I want you on your assignment today is be boxing and circling what goes together. So we use this to solve equations now. First thing we always do is the distributive property. Secondly, we combine all like terms. Third, we solve. So we're going to draw our line down to maintain equality, and we're going to find like terms. So in this case, I have 3x. I have a positive 5x. Those two will go together. I have a negative 2 or minus 2 and a positive 7 or plus 7. So now I have 3x plus 5x, which gives me 8x. I have a negative 2 plus 7 or 7 minus 2, which gives me a positive 5, and that equals 11. And now I just solve it. I need to subtract 5 on both sides. I'm left with 6 equals 8x, divide by 8, divide by 8, x, because these cancel, 6/8, 2 can go into both of those, or 3/4, and we can leave them as a fraction. So x up here is going to be 3/4. Go ahead and stop the video and try the next one. Begin when you are ready to see the answer. Stop the video now. All right, let's take a look. I'm going to put 7s with a minus 5s, and 4 is done. So we have 7s minus 5s is 2s plus 4 equals 16. So now I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. Cancel my 4's because 4 minus 4 is 0, and I'm left with 2s equals 12. Divide both sides by 2, divide by 2, and s equals 6. Yes, I can go back and check. 7 times 6 plus 4 minus 5 times 6 must equal 16. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 4. 5 times 6 is 30, equals 16. 42 plus 4 is 46, minus 30, must equal 16. 46 minus 30 is 16, and 16 equals 16, so they check out. Last one. This one's going to have the distributive property in it. So remember, you distribute first. Before you can combine your like terms, let's distribute the 2 to the y, which gives me 2y. We distribute the 2 to the 1, which gives me 2, plus my 5y, and that equals 16. Now I can combine my like terms, 5y and my positive 2y, and then plus 2. So 5y plus 2y is 7y plus 2 equals 16. Now I can just solve. Minus 2 on both sides. 16 minus 2 is 14 equals, cancels out, 7y. Divide by 7, divide by 7, and 2 equals y. Again, I plug into the original equation to check. 16 equals 5 times 2 plus 2 times 2 plus 1. Well, we do what's in parentheses first because of order of operations, which is 3 times 2 plus 5 times 2, and that much must equal 16. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 times 3 is 6, and 16 equals your 16, so it checks out. That's all for now. If you have questions, make sure you ask.